What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we're looking at an absolutely amazing koi and goldfish shop slash farm. So make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out those links in the description. Make sure to check out Star Fisheries and Jimmy Goldfish USA. If you are from the UK, make sure you have or already have booked your appointment for the Star Fisheries Personal Selection Day they are hosting at the end of January. But onto today's video, we are going to be looking at a video from Ryo Watanabe, or Ryo Watanabe, however you want to pronounce his name. And he has done this absolutely great video of this goldfish and koi shop slash farm amalgamation mixed together in Japan. So we're actually going to have that video on the screen now. I'm going to narrate over the top of it and talk all about the fish on display, all about sort of Japan, the fish culture and everything like that, and just generally all about the video that he's made for us. I'm going to put a link down below to the original video because this was his content that he created and I didn't personally create the content myself, so I'm giving him all credit where it is due. But without further ado, let's get the video on the screen now and let's check it out. Here we are going into this goldfish and koi shop slash farm. As you can see, straight away we are greeted with some absolutely stunning kahaku, which are the red and white koi. These look to be a really good quality, really nice size. Potentially these are Nisai or Sansai, which means 1, 2 or 3 years old, sorry. And they've got that absolutely huge pond in the front. And now we're on to some ranchu. These look really nice, really good top view ranchu, got the nice splayed tails. I'm really liking the use of these white sort of porcelain bowls that they use to bowl up the fish when you're looking at them. The white is really good to look at the fish because it really shows the colours up. As I've mentioned previously, they use blue bowls for koi and generally white bowls for ranchu, but as you saw earlier, the actual vats that the ranchu are in are blue themselves rather than white. Now I believe they use the blue vats rather than a sort of white vat because the blue doesn't quite show the dirt, detritus and the algae quite as much as a white vat or a white tub would. These guys look like they're Joaquin or Wakin goldfish. Really lovely benny, really lovely strong red to these fish, really nice body shapes. And the tanks or the vats that this breeder or shop has look to be really nice and clean. All the fish look really healthy. I haven't seen a single fish just yet that looks ill or has low motability. They all look really active and all just really healthy in general. Looks like we've got some air lines that are running all the way along the back of these vats that are pumping air into some sponge filters, which are helping keeping the water nicely rotated, fresh and aerated. Sorry, it just skipped back a little bit to those same vats, but it's really nice to see those different style of vats. They look like they had a cladding, like a granite style cladding, which looked really nice. And now we are on to a few bubble eyes in the same blue vats. I really like this shop. It's really nicely spread out. Everything looks like it's sorted and completely neat and tidy, which is really nice to see from a shop. I always like to see a shop that is well organized and nicely spread out and really thought about, because when you know that a shop has been well planned out, well thought about and well spaced, you know that the owner or the shopkeeper is thinking about those fish and is providing them with the best care possible because they're really thinking about the setup that the fish are going into. Now we can see some absolutely lovely red and white orandas, some stunning ryukin, and those orandas there with the tancho spot on the head look absolutely phenomenal. Really good quality, a lovely skin quality, lovely white skin, really nice benny, really soft reds to them as well. As Japan has generally a really soft water area, generally the whites and the reds are really quite nice and blissful on the fish, and the blacks aren't too dark. They generally don't develop in the softer water as well in comparison to the UK with our harder water. But it looks like in this shop we've got more of a selection of Japanese goldfish, I would say. As it is a Japanese shop, you may think, well, that's obvious, but generally, obviously, fish are imported from all over the world and they change hands with so many people in so many different countries. But it looks like mainly this shop has a focus of the koi, the top view ranchu, the Japanese tamasaba, or the Japanese style ryukin, and then also the Joaquin goldfish and some more of the common goldfish. As we can see here, we have some more Joaquin or Wakin, however you'd like to pronounce it. And generally they do have a mix of other fish like those Oranda that we saw. And now I think we are moving on to what looks to be a more of a koi section. So we've dealt with the majority of the goldfish at this place, but I'm really liking these in-ground pond systems. You've got a nice level of walkways around it with some astroturf so you don't slip over, because believe me, you do not want to be slipping into these ponds. And Japan is known for, especially in the koi houses and the koi breeders, having very thin walkways between ponds, and you definitely don't want to fall in those. Look like they've got an absolutely great selection of koi, potentially even better than the goldfish as well. I know we generally focus on goldfish on the channel, but goldfish and koi sort of come hand in hand, and they are very similar. Obviously they are very different species of fish, but they are very similar and have very similar characteristics with the patternings, the varieties, etc. And it looks like we've got a huge selection of fish, lots of kahaku, sanki, shoal, which are the big three fish that in the koi world, and there are many other varieties as well, but Japan is really known for those big three heavy hitters. Looks like there's lots of fish everywhere in this shop, even hidden under boards, etc. And I assume some of these, like the one with the polystyrene on, generally I found in the past that if they have a bit of polystyrene with some writing on them, normally they are either under treatment or they have already been purchased. Now, when I did my trip to Japan about 3 years ago, we went to around 40 different koi breeders, similar to this, but generally much larger ponds that were more open to the trade rather than the public, like these slightly smaller ponds are that you can see. And there were lots and lots of fish which were already sold or under treatment, and you would see them in really large ponds, probably on a similar scale to these ranchu that you can see here, but stocked far more densely. And although generally that stocking was way too much and way too overstocked, the breeders are doing lots of water changes, and you'll often find the fish aren't staying in these conditions for a long period of time. Now, these ranchu tanks are severely understocked, I would say, and they are kept really clean. You can really tell that a lot of care and effort's gone into them, which if I was purchasing from a shop just like this, I'd be very happy, and I wouldn't have any sort of worry in the back of my mind buying fish from here, and I'd know that these fish are likely of really good quality and really good strength. Now we're back onto some more koi. These look like tosai, which are fish under 12 months old. A large selection of different fish. Looks like there's lots of aeration. The water looks really clear, which is always nice to see. And now we've gone on to the end pond, which has got some slightly larger fish in. Now generally you'll find, similar to the goldfish, as the koi go up in size, they definitely go up in price as well. Now obviously quality can vary hugely, and you can buy a small fish for thousands of pounds, or you can buy a really large fish for thousands of pounds, depending on the quality. But generally similar to the goldfish, the larger fish that have been kept on are those that are high quality, and the breeder or the dealer believes they have that future potential. So generally, if you see a large fish at a famous or well-renowned breeder, be it goldfish or koi, you'll know that that fish has gone through many selections, and that it is of high quality, and that it has retained a good value. So you can know when you're purchasing these larger fish that generally it should be a really good quality. If you haven't quite got the eye for selecting your goldfish or your koi, if you are into your koi as well, you'll generally be able to know that when you're buying a larger fish, it should theoretically be of that high quality if it has that price tag to go with it. But generally, when breeders and dealers keep these larger fish, they do take up a lot more space, so it does make a lot of sense for them to charge a lot more if they are of that high quality. And if they aren't of that high quality, they generally wouldn't keep them in their possessions, because they cost a lot to keep, a lot to feed, and a lot to look after. So you can sort of have that in the back of your mind. If you aren't an expert at selecting fish or selecting larger fish and you don't quite know what to look for, you can always have a little bit of peace of mind that the larger fish will be of good quality if that is what is within your budget. Now we are coming to the end of the goldfish and the koi, and it looks like we have some maybe Japanese rice fish or some slightly cold water species. I'm not too sure on these, some potential minnows. Hopefully someone in the comments will know and they can comment down below what these fish are. Maybe they are Madaka rice fish, I might be completely wrong as I can't quite tell or haven't seen these before, or I didn't see these on my travels to Japan when I was there either. But I'm assuming that there is an aquarium hobby as well for smaller indoor fish, although I know the goldfish and the koi are very, very big in Japan, and those are really the main fish that are kept. They even have a koi museum, and I think they do have a goldfish museum as well. There are so many breeders of goldfish and koi throughout Japan, up in the north and the south. And if you guys really want to check out koi or goldfish, it is definitely a place to go, and it was one of the most amazing places I've ever been to. So I would really consider going to Japan if you can within your budget, or you really want to see how goldfish farms or koi farms are set up, the process of selections, and just the huge industry that it is. Because here in the UK, and I assume in other countries as well, we really can't see the huge industry that the goldfish industry is, and the farming process and the techniques that they use. So that is definitely something to consider. But we have come to the end of this shop tour. Hope you've enjoyed seeing all the different fish this shop in Japan has on offer. I'm just going to wrap up the video now, but hopefully you enjoyed my narrations over the top, and I'll catch you in a second. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and sorry at the end I did babble on about Japan and my trip to Japan, so I do apologise about that a little bit. But hopefully you enjoyed the narration, and if you want to see some more videos like this, then put a little comment down below. And if you guys want to have your goldfish or your setups featured on the channel, then you can pop me an email at fancygoldfishfanatics@gmail.com. That email is in the description down below, and I can help you get the videos together so we can have your setup featured on the channel. So that is it for today. As always, thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.